Did you ever feel completely exhausted all day, but the moment your head touches the pillow, your mind suddenly wakes up? The room is quiet, the lights are off, everyone else seems to disappear into sleep, and then your brain decides this is the perfect time to replay a conversation from 3 days ago. Imagine a problem that has not happened yet. Question your entire future. Remember something embarrassing from 2014 and create a full emotional movie out of one tiny thought. You were tired 5 minutes ago. Now your mind is having a meeting with itself. And the strangest part is that sleep should be simple. You lie down, close your eyes and rest. But for some people, nighttime is not when the mind shuts down. It is when the mind finally gets loud enough to hear. So why do some people overthink before sleep? And why does the brain wait until the quietest moment of the day to bring up everything you are trying to ignore? Before we get into it, if this kind of psychology makes you feel a little too seen, like the video and subscribe. This channel is all about the hidden patterns behind the way people think, feel, and behave. Now, the first reason overthinking gets stronger at night is simple. During the day, your brain is distracted. There are messages to answer, places to go, things to finish, people to respond to, noises, screens, tasks, routines, responsibilities. Even if something is bothering you, the day keeps pulling your attention away from it. But at night, the distractions disappear. Your body gets still. The room gets quiet. Your phone may finally go down. There is no conversation to follow, no task to complete, no outside noise demanding your attention. And in that silence, unfinished thoughts rise to the surface. It is a bit like turning off the music in a room and suddenly hearing the refrigerator humming. The sound was probably there all along. You just could not hear it clearly before. That is what nighttime can do to the mind. It reveals the mental noise that was already running in the background. This is why many people do not only think at night, they process. They process what someone meant by a certain text. They process whether they made the right choice. They process work, money, relationships, health, time, regret, old memories, future pressure, and things they were too busy to feel during the day. In psychology, rumination means repeatedly thinking about the same problem, feeling, or event without actually reaching a solution. It feels like problem solving, but it often becomes a loop. Problem solving moves forward. Rumination spins in place. For example, problem solving sounds like, I forgot to reply to that email, I'll do it tomorrow morning. Rumination sounds like, why did I forget? Do they think I'm careless? Am I falling behind? Why am I like this? What if this becomes a bigger problem? The original issue may be small, the mental story becomes huge, and nighttime makes this easier because the brain is tired. That sounds backwards, but it matters. When you are mentally fresh, your brain is better at filtering thoughts. It can say, this is not useful right now, or we can deal with that tomorrow. But when you are tired, emotional control gets weaker. The part of the brain that helps with reasoning and regulation is less sharp. Thoughts that might seem manageable at 2 p.m. can feel dramatic at 2 a.m. This is why problems often look bigger at night. The problem has not always changed. Your brain state has. A tired brain is more likely to believe worst-case scenarios. It has less energy to challenge them. So a small uncertainty can grow into a full story. You think about tomorrow's meeting, and suddenly you are imagining failure. You remember something awkward you said, and suddenly you feel like everyone secretly judged you. You think about your future, and suddenly your whole life feels behind. Nighttime overthinking often turns uncertainty into cinema, and the mind is a very convincing director. Another reason people overthink before sleep is that sleep requires surrender. During the day you can act, you can fix, reply, clean, plan, explain, check, escape, or distract yourself. Sleep asks you to stop doing. For people who rely on control, this can feel strangely uncomfortable. When you sleep, you cannot monitor everything. You cannot prepare for every outcome. You cannot protect yourself with another plan. You have to trust that the world can keep existing while you are unconscious. That sounds simple, but for some nervous systems, rest does not feel natural. It feels unguarded. So the brain creates activity to avoid surrender. It plans tomorrow, replays today, predicts danger, searches for mistakes, invents scenarios, reviews conversations, checks emotional threats. The brain thinks it is protecting you. It believes that if it thinks long enough, it can prevent pain. This is one of the hidden reasons overthinking is so hard to stop. It often comes from a protective instinct. Your mind is trying to keep you safe by staying ahead, but there is a problem. The brain does not always know the difference between useful preparation and emotional over-preparation. Useful preparation says, set an alarm, write down the task, put the bag by the door. Emotional over-preparation says, imagine every possible way tomorrow could go wrong until your body feels like it already happened. One helps you sleep, the other steals sleep while pretending to help. This is also why many overthinkers create fake scenarios before bed. Sometimes these scenarios are stressful, arguments that never happened, conversations you wish you had, future disasters, social rejection, someone leaving, you failing, you being misunderstood. Other times the scenarios are comforting. Imagine success, a different life, a perfect relationship, a version of yourself who finally says the right thing at the right time. The brain creates these stories because imagination gives it a place to put emotion. If you felt unheard during the day, your mind may create a conversation where you finally explain yourself. If you felt powerless, it may create a scenario where you regain control. If you felt lonely, it may create connection. If you felt behind, it may create a future where everything makes sense. These fake scenarios are not random. They often reveal emotional needs that were not met in real life. The scenario is the surface. The need underneath is the clue. But when this happens every night, the bed stops feeling like a place of rest. It becomes a thinking chair. The brain learns an association. Pillow equals processing time. That is why some people can be sleepy on the couch, then suddenly wide awake in bed. The body was tired, but the bed triggered the mental habit. Over time, this can become a cycle. You worry because you cannot sleep. Then you cannot sleep because you are worried. The more pressure you put on sleep, the more alert your brain becomes. And the more alert your brain becomes, the further away sleep feels. So what helps? The first step is not forcing your mind to go blank. That usually makes thoughts louder. A better approach is to give the brain a place to put unfinished thoughts before bed. This can be simple. Write down 3 things. What is on my mind? What can wait until tomorrow? What is one next step? This works because the brain relaxes when it knows a thought has been stored somewhere. You are telling your mind, we are not ignoring this, we are just not solving it at midnight. Another useful habit is creating a buffer between stimulation and sleep. If your brain goes from scrolling, messaging, working, or watching intense content straight into darkness, it may not have enough time to slow down. The mind needs a landing strip. A calm routine signals that the day is ending. Lower lights, less input, repeated actions, quiet tasks. The same order each night. Predictability tells the nervous system, nothing more is required right now. And perhaps the deepest shift is learning to separate thinking from solving. Just because your mind brings something up at night does not mean the night is the right time to solve it. Some thoughts are visitors, not instructions. You can notice them without following them into a 2-hour investigation. So if you overthink before sleep, it does not mean your mind is broken. It may mean your brain has been holding too much all day. It may mean silence finally gives your thoughts space. It may mean your nervous system is trying to protect you through planning, replaying, and imagining. But rest begins when your brain learns that not every thought needs an answer tonight. Some things can wait for daylight. Some worries shrink after sleep. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can tell yourself is, I hear this thought. I'm writing it down, and I'm allowed to rest before I solve it.